Hi, this is Dave Tribbett, owner of V3 Connect, and I'm here today with one of our valued Perks members, Zach Jamieson. He's a financial planner, and we're just doing a quick video today to talk about some of the things that Zach does and a little bit about V3 Connect. So you've been a member now for a while. We first had met at basically ribbon cutting for your business and your financial planning. Um, and so would you like to talk a little bit about just kind of generally what it is that you do for your customers, and we'll go from there.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate the opportunity. It's great to see you, and welcome to everybody that's watching. So again, I'm Zach Jamieson. I am a certified investment management analyst, certified financial planner with Edward Jones. And so I am certainly in the financial services industry. I work with individuals, families, small businesses in the area, helping them with their financial planning. And I started working with Dave on the initiative with V3 Connect quite a while ago. And this was even before a lot of these things happened. And I really liked what Dave was doing at the time, his vision for helping to create a formula and a format in the Valley to help drive and improve commerce here in our area. And of course, now our reality is all different than it was only a few months ago. It doesn't seem like it was that long, but in some ways it seems like an eternity because things are very different now, and the realities that we are facing is very different. And so, I've only become more heartened by what I've seen with what Dave is doing with V3 Connect and with what some of the other networking organizations are doing in the area. I can't necessarily speak for them, but what we're doing is making sure that we're supplying a support system, being the change that we want to see here in the Valley, and working with each other's strengths in order to move forward through what can be a very challenging and difficult time right now.
Some of the great things and the things that you were talking about, Zach, is how our entire world has actually changed in a matter of just a couple weeks. And every single day it's really been difficult to keep up with that. And one of the great things that I find about having you as one of the very valuable members of V3 Connect is that you're always looking at a positive outlook and hope in a better future. And I don't know if you could kind of share that a little bit, because I think that's a massive value
Mm.
that you bring to the table with anybody that you would actually work with and help.
Well, absolutely. That's something that I talk with a lot about with my clients in the context of investing, but I also believe that it is extremely important with what's going on right now. I talk with my clients when we're having the discussion about what's important to be a successful long-term investor. It really boils down to three things. And when it comes specifically to investment, I'll talk about those. But when it comes to just generally where we are right now, why those are important as well. And those three things are discipline, patience, and faith in the future. And I'll explain what I mean by those. Discipline is continuing to do the right thing even during a difficult economic time. And that can take the form of continuing to make contributions to your retirement accounts, for example, even when stocks are down. Of course, it makes cognitive sense to do that, but sometimes emotionally it's difficult to do those kinds of things. But having that discipline is one of the main predictors of success long term. Patience, being able here to not make a big mistake, which unfortunately a lot of people have done when it comes to investing. We got to see the result of a lot of other people's mistakes with the big dramatic pullback in the stock market. And so being able to avoid making those mistakes and having the patience to continue to stick with the plan that you've set out, whether it's investing or business. And then finally, and I think this one may be the most important one to have of all of them, is faith in the future. And I'm not talking specifically about religious faith. Some people may have religious faith in the future. Some people may have traditional types of regular pragmatic faith in the future. And it can be very easy to lose that sometimes. If we feel like a virus is taking over our world, or that there's societal functions are breaking down, things like that, our minds go to the wildest possibilities, and we can easily lose that faith and vision in the future. So now more than ever, it is critical for individuals, whether or not we're talking about investing for their financial future, whether or not we're talking about continuing to drive their business and grow, we need to keep foremost those three things at the front of our minds and help each other to have them as well as we move forward through this time. Because there will continue to be uncertainty, there will continue to be change, and those that adapt to it, plain and simply, will survive, and those that aren't able to will have to find a different way to go.
Now, you work with not only individuals, but you work with organizations as well. And I don't know if you could take a minute and actually maybe speak in generally, not, giving advice, because that's special for every single client individually. What are some of the benefits, even potentially in a difficult time, just to supply something to your employees to retain those individuals? I don't know if you could speak to that for a few minutes.
Yes, that's an extremely important point, Dave. The fact of the matter is that we, and I say we when I talk about folks that have the ability to sit and talk about this kind of thing, we're the fortunate ones right now. There are a huge amount of individuals that are their businesses are not going to reopen, where they worked is not going to spring back into action. There's a variety of industries that are going to be unrecoverably affected by this. And what that's going to result in is that the fact that there's going to be a large, very large, we already see this with economic numbers and unemployment increases and things like that, a huge number of workers that are going to be re-entering the workforce after being furloughed, laid off, or looking for work for the first time, some of these other things. So there's going to be, we used to have the situation in which it was difficult to find employees, let alone good employees. Now we're going to have the opposite problem of quantity, but how do we effectively determine and attract quality? So these are going to be the biggest areas to focus on as a business owner in the future, because we're going to see an expansion. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when, and how do we bring the right employees back on board during that point in time. And the challenge that a lot of business owners face is that there's not an easy answer to that. It ends up being a combination of a lot of different factors, which is why we put together the Growth and Competitive Compensation Initiative. There's a lot of different factors from a lot of different sources. And so a lot of business owners want to focus on just what it is that makes their business great, and don't necessarily have the expertise in a lot of other areas. So by putting together a resource for them, it's going to allow them to really capitalize on some of the changes that are taking place now and be positioned in the right way for when they need to attract the right kind of talent moving forward into the future.
It's a great point. And one of the other things that I would add to that personally is that it's, I think, really important. I talk to a lot of people all the time, but having somebody as highly skilled, confident, and level-headed as yourself, and as a local resource, I think is really valuable to the people that you serve. And it's interesting because when I personally talk to people that are broken down, maybe they're baby boomers or millennials or Gen Ys and stuff like that, it's really interesting the way that you would even connect, I think, with those individuals, because right now, individuals may not even in their 20s and 30s be thinking about retirement. And a lot of people may not even like to talk about money in general, but it's so critically important. And I think that a lot of the states and municipalities are very aware of that. And that's why they're trying to come up with some type of plan for individuals that are within their borders of having some type of retirement plan. But you individually bring a very unique value, because it's also, are there aspects of it that are about also lifestyle, not just somewhere in the distant future of retiring, that you're able to actually work with people on?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that that's a very key point that many folks miss when they're thinking about the future for themselves. I know if it's me and I sit down and I say, I have no idea what the future is going to hold, if I start to make a plan about action that I can take and that I can control moving forward, I immediately start to feel better because I begin to create my own form of certainty in a time where we have this tremendous just reservoir of uncertainty at every turn. And so being able to do that and to take control, and I think that as we move forward with the growth and competitive compensation initiative, we're going to start to see business owners really responding and welcoming this type of involvement at the community level to help move them and their businesses forward in a way that's going to be very, very valuable. And so certainly encourage everyone that is looking for assistance, support, resources to definitely draw upon the power of what we have here in the community, because I'm really excited about it. Absolutely.
You'll go in and you actually do trainings, right? You'll
Mm-hmm.
relieve some of that stress from the on the employers that may want to provide a service, but they don't even know a whole lot about it, and maybe they don't even have anything set up for themselves. So you're able to come in and train. What does that look like for a company or a potential client?
Absolutely. So when we have a new plan kickoff, we want it to be something that's special and that's communicated to the employees, because a lot of the time it is something that the business owner is doing, not necessarily because they have to, although there are some mandated things now like Oregon Saves. But if they're doing it, most of what I hear is, we want to do this for our employees. And if that's the end of it, and then it's all of a sudden, okay, guys, you have a retirement plan, you can put some money in. If you can't, now or you can either put some in or you can't put some in, what have you, but let's move on to something else, then that gets shoved into the background, and that's a missed opportunity. When we're kicking off a retirement plan, we make a rightfully big deal about it for a couple of reasons. I mean, for one, because the employer is undeniably going out of their way to potentially provide a match that amounts to free money in a way to their employees, as long as their employees choose to contribute. But furthermore, it's critical that we impress upon the employees why they need to contribute. Because I look at it as my personal mission to help everyone at least have an awareness of the importance of planning financially. Because whether or not you decide to do that through me, through somebody else, on your own, through research, the more focus you put on this, and as much as we don't like to talk about it, our money is right up there with our health in terms of importance in our modern life. The more that we put a focus on it, the more that we put our energy towards things that are going to help us to improve, the better simply we will be. And if we're able to communicate what we're doing as business owners to our employees and helping them to understand why we feel like they're part of our family and our team, that's going to result in much better quality hires, much better quality retention, and a better outcome for your business overall in the long run.
Now, I also know that you have gone, far beyond with your education than what you would just need um, to be just a financial planner, a great financial planner. Uh, you have, if you could speak to some of the credentials and the different things that you've actually added and what you're able to do on a larger scope and serving the people that you do, as far as your education and stuff like that goes.
Sure. Yeah. If we're going to talk specifically, then yes, I have 7 advanced degrees in the financial industry. I'm a chartered financial consultant, a certified financial planner, an accredited asset management specialist, chartered retirement planning counselor.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. It's interesting when somebody goes so far beyond what the basic requirements would be to actually serve their clients well. So I'm glad that you shared some of that. But I'm also curious about, out of all the things that you could do, why, and I think you spoke to that a little bit, but why did you choose to become a financial planner and put all that extra time into um, your education? Why did you choose to do this and to serve your clients the way that you do? And what do you find enjoyable? What do you like most about what you do?
For me, the the biggest part of it, the thing that's most fulfilling is being able to work with folks on an ongoing, lifelong basis. I'm going to work with some of my clients for, I would say, at least another 25, 30 years, helping them achieve what they're trying to achieve. It's being able to be a part of that for them in a way and contribute to their success that to me is the best thing about what I do. And I feel that, as somebody that's fortunate in that area, as many of us are, we owe it and have a responsibility to those around us to help bring them up as well and to help elevate them in that same way. My philosophy is such that there shouldn't be any barriers. I'm happy to talk to anyone for an hour of their time and my time, and just sit down and say, what's important to you? What's going on? What are you trying to accomplish? Maybe we can help. Maybe we can't. Maybe there's something else that's better for you out there. And if so, happy to point you in that direction. But now more than ever, we have to be willing to draw on each other's expertise, to collaborate without being too isolationist, and to work together and to create a situation in which we can have trust for each other and know that we're all acting in each other's best interest. I think that's the most critical thing right now. And that's really what I look for when I'm looking to partner with people. Definitely.
Beautifully said. So that's it for this video, and introducing all of you that will see this video to Zach and what he brings to the table. You can connect through Zach on v3connect.com. We look forward to hearing from all of you and answering any questions that you have. And I look forward to referring you guys to Zach for his amazing skills and the way that he can actually help all of you. Stay tuned for more great videos from other key individuals in the community and key individuals within V3 Connect. That's all for now, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Great. Thanks a lot, Dave. We'll talk soon.